Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, May 31st, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is the worth of this moment is my perception. And today we have the moon in Aries helping us take some action along with the sun in Gemini, which is helping us think about the actions that we're taking. And this week we've got another interesting week as we're working in and through and growing into this new moon with this grand mutable cross or grand mutable square with all the mutable signs kind of interacting, facing off, more so than facing off, helping us grow, expand ourselves. And so that's really the question to ask yourself through this energy is how are you being asked to grow, to shift, to expand, to change in your life right now? And how can you show up for it? Because that's really going to help with this moon in Aries. The moon in Aries gives us that motivation. It gives us that little that little get up and go to start taking any steps that need to be taken. And it's really, I think the moon in Aries with the sun in Gemini is kind of a cool combination because the sun in Gemini is like, oh, I'm going to think about this. I want to think about this. And yeah, I'm up for anything. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And moon in Aries is like, we're just going to go for it, dude. So we've got a good balance between the going for it and the I'm going to think about it, but you know, I'm curious energy to help us utilize this expansion. The day is really interesting too because we begin the day with the moon connecting to Venus and we're ending the day with the moon connecting to Pluto. So from Venus, that energy of beauty and love. Mahalo has a lot to say about this, by the way. He stopped now, of course, but he has a lot to say about this. To the moon connecting to Pluto, transformation and our empowerment and power with the moon connecting to the sun and Saturn in between. And overall, the feeling that I get from this energy is that this is the energy to seize this moment, show up for change, show up for all the change that's happening in so many different ways. It's so interesting. The moon connects to Venus at 8 degrees. 8 degrees is that degree of Saturn, asking us to show up, be responsible for our life. How are you responding to what's coming for you, happening for you? It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And then the moon connecting to Pluto, Pluto's at 17 degrees. So again, that 8 energy of showing up for what's happening and recognizing the worth of anything that's happening. You know, I think when it comes into this stretching feeling, these crosses, it can feel like, what is the universe doing? This is so hard. Recognize this is not happening to you. This is happening for you. And it's not just happening to you. It is happening for everyone. Everybody's experiencing this stretching feeling in one way or another. So how are you going to work with it? Because it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. It only has to do with you and igniting your own energy, your own soul purpose. There goes Mahalo. So where was I going to go with that? I think I'm going to show you the cards because, you know, that's basically this energy. Show up for this energy. Show up for the lessons. Be willing to expand your mind. There really is a mental component to this energy. So really be willing to be present with your mind and recognize where you're blocking something off that may help you in your expansion. There's no harm in saying, you know, is this true? Could this be true? Is this relevant to me? How is this helping me? There's no harm in that, and then you can go from there. So I'm going to start with these cards. Receptivity, that's that open mind, being like, how does this benefit me? How is this working for me? How can I open my mind to this? And here's the intensity card. This is us moving into this grand square energy, grand cross energy. And here's what we're ultimately being asked to do is integrate parts of ourselves. You know, it's fascinating because today we have like a 10-degree day and Mars is also at 10 degrees. Well, it's at 28 degrees, which is a 10. So there really is that energy of knowing the worth of this moment, the worth of this process, and integrating the shadow parts and the beautiful parts into our experience. The other things that are happening, you know, it may feel like a tragedy, but the Thunderbolt card is like this. It's not so bad. You've got this. This is what happens to my lighting with a cat opening the window. So funny. And don't compare your experience to anybody else. Everybody's struggling in their own way, working with, trying not to fight, use that resistance energy with this process. So there's no need to compare. Just be present with your own and keep working on that expansion. And the Rumi card for today, God, I'm going to try not to read the whole thing, but it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I was like, wow. It is, I surge on the uprising wave of love. And the Rumi verse is, my life can be summed up in 3 accounts. I was raw, I was cooked, I was burned. And this oracle says, greater forces of planetary movements affect us all. We experience day and night through interplay of Earth, Sun, and Moon. This is a profound and obvious effect. The movements of the cosmos affect us deeply, body and soul. Some movements are perhaps less obvious, and some are just as great, if not more so, in effect on our spiritual growth and life experience. You're going through a cycle by which you will be moved by forces greater than your own personal will. This is a karmic period. So this card is obviously really in tune with what we're talking about. What we have at our disposal is our choice how to respond to these affecting movements and cycles, our responsibility. The effects of this karmic cycle are now unfolding in your life to bring you into sweet surrender and awakening into greater love. What delicious divine destiny. Let's see. I'm trying not to read this whole thing because there's so much good stuff, but it's also really long. Don't try to swim against the tide of your own life journey. Go with it. The divine is waiting for you, orchestrating waves upon which you may reach the heavenly shore. This oracle comes with a message for you. There are changes happening, and they will be out of your control. This is because you are ready for accelerated life change. Rather than paddling, you'll be caught up in a wave and moved farther and faster. Let yourself surge on with the energy of what's happening, leading with your heart and just going on with whatever unfolds. This will bring you into the best fortune and open you up to the divine destiny that is your birthright in this lifetime. So this expansion, it's all good, but, we're all going through it. So be at peace with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind with others because we're all feeling this. And book a reading if you want to dive in deeper. We got a big new moon coming later this week. It's always good to figure out what's going on with that. I still have my 30 for 30 sale going on, so book one of those, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.